Well, hello and welcome. So, as you can see, I did some sort of oopsie. I already played the daily challenge, and I did so recording myself in a different environment because I didn't have my mic with me. So, I just wanted to take the computer mic that I used in the beginning of my recordings, which has a slightly worse quality, but I was like, it's gonna be all right. But yeah, then after recording the video, playing through the kingdom, having a really nice run, I realized only afterwards that the mic didn't pick up any sounds, and that was because I registered this mic with OBS, and yeah, so that recording could go straight to the bin as you couldn't hear anything. You could see my lips moving, but unless you're some sort of great lip reader, that video was kind of for the bin, for the trash can. But yeah, I decided to, like, afterwards I needed to go play volleyball, so I decided to do a late recording now and just go for re-recording. Now I'm back here, back home. I have the mic, and yeah, you can hear my crisp voice, but it's getting kind of late. So I'll try to do a quick playthrough and yeah, see whether I can reproduce what I had going in the last run. All right. So as always, after this lengthy introduction, I'm sorry for uh, for telling you this story of myself being silly. Let's go and talk about the kingdom. The first card we have in the lower left corner, I'll remove myself, is the lackeys, which is just a moat for 2 money, 2 cards. But when you gain this, you get 2 villagers, and 2 villagers. Villagers are, I don't think they're explained anywhere here, but they are tokens that you can spend for receiving actions whenever you want. So this is a really powerful effect, and that turns the lackeys the first 2 times you play them into labs essentially. And after that, they're just emote, of course. But they're usually really good tempo because also in the early game, you're not likely to draw any actions that with them. And if you do, you can just spend one of those villagers. And yeah, one of the stronger cards of an already strong expansion. I didn't even start by mentioning that we have a 2 expansion Thursday. So this is cornucopia and guilds once again. We've seen a lot of this expansion in the past few weeks, and Renaissance. And Renaissance is one of the, yeah, in my opinion, strongest expansions of those around. But enough brabbling. Let me get on with Infirmary. We've already seen this card a few weeks or a few days ago, I don't remember. It's +1 card, and you may trash a card from your hand, and you can overpay. And overpaying means, in this case, that you get to play the Infirmary as many times as you overpaid coins. So if you pay 6 for an Infirmary, you overpay 3. You get to play it 3 times, get to trash 3 cards from your hand. Wonderful, but on play it's kind of underwhelming. So I would never recommend buying Infirmary for just 3. So the overpay effect is really what makes this card a very viable trasher. Next up, Advisor. Saw this one yesterday, a lab variant that only picks the 2 worst cards. But in this kingdom, and because your opponent is allowed to discard one of the 3 you reveal, but in this kingdom, it's actually quite kind of nice because there is Mountain Village. And Mountain Village is a village unless you have a card in your discard pile. And if you have cards in your discard pile, you can choose one of them to put one of them in your hand. This can be really annoying with discard attacks or cursors, but with Advisor, it's actually quite nice. I can tell from experience, as I just finished the kingdom a few hours earlier, and yeah, found this synergy to be really pleasant because your opponent discards your bad cards, and you pull an Uno reverse and just pick them back up with the Mountain Village. Now, next card is Priest, +2 cards, and trash a card from your hand. For the rest of this turn, when you trash a card, you get +2 money. And this if you can chain them in some way, play multiple priests after each other, or trash multiple cards after playing a priest, they can be really strong payload, strong source of coin. But in this kingdom, there is no plus buy, so they are kind of whatever, I guess. Then we have Baker, plus one card, an action, and a coffer. So basically a peddler variant, plus one card, plus an action and a coin. But the coffer is a coin you get to spend also at later turns. Really nice for reliability in money decks, for example. But also costing 5 is a huge opportunity cost, because usually there are going to be more enticing 5s. And another nice thing about Baker is that it comes with the coffers. And coming with the coffers means that we get to be a little more flexible in our opening splits. And yeah, it's just a really nice, pleasant card to have in the kingdom, in my opinion. I am a Baker enjoyer, even though I only buy it rarely. Recruiter, plus 2 cards and trash a card from your hand, plus 1 villager per 1 coin it costs. So this is one of the 5s that I was talking about that competes with Baker, because Recruiter is an incredibly strong card. It looks innocent, plus 2 cards and trash a card from your hand, but getting 1 villager per 1 the card you trashed costs is a really, really strong village effect. Especially if you at later times get to trash, I don't know, another recruiter, you suddenly have 5 villagers and get to spend those whenever you please. And also the plus 2 cards means that it's great tempo for Trasher. It's not great at trashing coppers, but at the time you've trashed out your estates with them, you usually have the villagers lying around to justify just trashing the coppers. Next we have Scholar. Discard your hand, plus 7 cards, a nice draw card in games where you can, I don't know, play some disappearing money. I learned recently. Disappearing money meaning that you play an action card and lower your hand size by doing so, but also get some money in the process. And it's also notably quite nice with villagers, as you can just play it at the start of your turn in principle and then draw up. But it's usually a bit awkward because you cannot go above the 7 cards with it, and usually there's just better draw. Sculptor. One of the key cards in this kingdom, let me tell you. It's gain a card to your hand costing up to 4. If it's a treasure, you get plus 1 villager. So if you gain a silver to your hand with it, then it's non-terminal. But more importantly, it can gain any card costing up to 4 to your hand. So it's very flexible, especially in this kingdom with strong 4s. There's Lackeys, Advisor, Mountain Village you want to gain a bunch, so Sculptor is really, really valuable here. And also with the absence of plus buy, it is essential for plus gains. Next up, Swashbuckler. We've seen this one in a strong kingdom where the treasure chest mattered, I think. It's a smithy by heart, but also it has this extra ability that if after drawing the 3 cards, your discard pile has any cards in it, you get plus 1 coffers. This is deceptively hard to activate, but with stuff like Advisor, you might be able to activate it easily. And then if you have at least 4 coffer tokens, take the treasure chest. Gosh, I cannot talk anymore. The treasure chest is an artifact that only one player can have at any given time, so you pass it back and forth. And if you are in possession of it, you gain a gold at the start of your buy phase. And that's it. But this effect is kind of underwhelming in this kingdom just because there is not that much to do with that gold. And there's not, you only need to hit 8 for province anyways. Next up, we have 2 projects. So projects are those things that you buy once and then the effect is active for the rest of the game. For 3, you can buy one of the strongest projects, Cathedral, and it looks kind of scary. At the start of your turn, trash a card from your hand. You might think, this is going to lead to many sad times, but in most kingdoms, unless there are limited gains. We kind of have that here. But also, if there are discard attacks, it can be really awkward. But if you can somehow reliably gain more than one card per turn, and can also somehow maybe set up the next turn in the best case, it is an incredibly strong treasure just because it gets rid of your starting cards incredibly quickly. Like at turn 5, you've already thinned 4 cards if you buy Cathedral turn 1. And yeah, you just get to see that your opening buys more often and you just accelerate a lot faster than you do with some of the conventional treasures. Then we have Barracks, which for 6 money you can buy yourself an action for an extra action at the beginning of each turn for the rest of the game. Not super relevant here, I think, because, yeah, let's talk about the kingdom. The elephant in the room is the lack of plus buy. The other, the elephant that follows that elephant is Sculptor, because it's the best way to gain additional cards here. So you want a bunch of them. In the last game I played, I had 5, and I wasn't sad about it. I mainly had 5 because I didn't hit 8 on turn 7, but still, it was really, really good. Then you notice that there's anything the engine might wish for except for the buy. If we look at the kingdom plot, um, we see that there's extra gains in Sculptor. That one is a bit weak, but there's lots of thinning in Recruiter, Cathedral, Infirmary, even Priest. There's lots of draw and lots of village. And yeah, so what we're going to try to do is try to build a powerful engine, all the while provincing as soon as we can, which is like turn 7 or 8. And we are going to facilitate this by preferentially opening Cathedral. Yeah, in the case of the 4-3, which is kind of sadder here, I would just I would recommend opening Sculptor Cathedral, but on the 3-4 or the 2-5, remember the Baker token, you can always open Cathedral Sculptor. And also the other way around, you can always open a Sculptor Cathedral on the 5-2 or on the 4-3, but it's just a tad worse as you get to trash your first card a turn later and shuffle that card in. But I still would go for it, I think. Just because, yeah, you want to do that Sculptor stuff. So, yeah, having talked about the kingdom, having talked about the openings, I think we can start and let's see how this goes. We have the really nice 3-4, so we can just go for the Cathedral. Already trashed this estate. AI goes for lackeys something. Get the Sculptor here. We do not get to pick up another Sculptor here, which is a bit sad. And I think that means next turn we're going to see Sculptor, Estate, and 2 coppers. There we are going to be able to pick up a Sculptor. I think at this point, the best thing we can do is just buy a lackeys, just as it is great early game tempo. And here we can just gain a silver, put in another Sculptor. Now, this Sculptor is going to enable us to, well, let's draw first actually, just so we know what we're going to see, whether there's going to be the other Sculptor or whether we are going to see the silver, because I would really like to buy another Sculptor here. Okay, this is great. Now let's not let this gain go to waste, so maybe put in a mountain village, which we're just not going to play. Next turn is going to see another Sculptor, and we can just put in one more. We could have been a bit greedy there and went for wait, let me finish that thought, and went for another lackeys to try to draw that other Sculptor, but yeah, I don't see the full merit of that. So now let's pick up an advisor. We have 2 of those um, two villagers left, so we can afford that. The mountain village is gonna be put in the discard. So at this point, I like just picking up a second silver to buy yet another sculptor. And I don't know why the AI is going for barracks here. It seems like a huge waste. Didn't do that in the last game. It was sort of competitive. Now let's pick up a mountain village here. Maybe another one already. Draw, beautiful. And now get that mountain village. Spent the last villager, but that's okay because we can just gain a silver now. Or lackeys. I think a silver. What turn is it? Turn 7. Do not quite hit province, but that's okay. We get the 5th sculptor in. And we are golden. I think now we should start drawing deck each turn, and that also means that so now you see the synergy between advisor and mountain village. Yes, but that means that we can just start provincing, and unless we have some really unlucky draw, we will be able to just province through. So now last card is a lackeys. I think I want to draw that. And now we could gain another lackeys just for the villagers. We do have a few mountain villages. Or we could just gain another silver. I think I like the lackeys as they are going to be better also on later turns. And if worst comes to worst, we can always just trash them. So AI is only going to hit 7 here. I don't think it's going to be as competitive as it was during the last game. I shouldn't have played that last mountain village. I should have waited for first playing the advisor, sorry. It's going a bit fast there. But yeah, we get to draw like crazy here. Really nicely. Look at that synergy. Let's put in whatever, another mountain village. Put in another advisor. And you see those sculptors, that this is number 2. All those 5, they're putting in great work. And we could have even, if I had thought about this a bit more, we could have even top decked another advisor. Let's just gain lackeys and just for the villagers and mountain villages. Next turn we should start also picking up estates, but AI is not putting up any fight here whatsoever, so it really doesn't matter. Now this turn I think I'm going to trash the silver, and we can always regain it with our sculptor army. And yeah, AI, what are you doing? This is just pathetic. And yeah, I don't think it has any way to come back from it. It did some sort of weird over trashing, I think. And this barrack spy is also really baffling me. Let's go for this. Again, I should have played the advisor before the mountain village. I'm playing sloppy, but it's going great. And since this is the second time I'm recording this, I'm also maybe a tad sloppier. I'm sorry. I still hope this video is entertaining and sort of educational. Now we can pick up those guys. We need to remember we need to pick up another silver here. Now, if the score were closer, I would really start picking up all of those estates now. Since the score is not close at all, I think we can just play it super safe and pick up a bunch of draw cards that are going to be great for next turn. And next turn we are going to just pick up the rest of these lackeys and advisors and end the game. AI has no chance whatsoever of coming back. And yeah, this went really well, of course, but I still also believe in our deck, even if we hadn't, if AI had put up a bit more of a fight. Again, I'm playing so sloppy. Just why didn't I play the advisor first? Anyways, let's draw a deck here and make this quick. Discard a bunch of good cards, pick them up with the mountain villages. And now we'll draw with the lackeys. Look at this beautifully functioning deck. We trashed the lackeys at the start of this turn, right? We are still going to be able to afford province. Beautiful, beautiful. And there we are at the end of our shuffle. AI. I shouldn't have played that maybe. AI is kind of slow in those nonsensical situations. Yeah, the last game I played ended on the provinces emptying, but this game, yeah, we were at 24 points after 11 turns. I think in the last one I was at 35 points after 12 turns. Was pretty much the same, but the AI at least went to 20 whatever points. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this playthrough, and with that, I will, as always, try to catch you next time. Goodbye.